Good morning. It's Monday, September 22nd, National Ice Cream Cone Day. Joe Biden, how'd you get here? Say what you want about the man, but the dude loves ice cream. Hear me out. Hear me out. When people were trying to get him to get out of the race last year, did anyone just offer him like a scoop of ice cream on a fresh waffle cone? Honestly, 50-50, it would have worked. And now, the news. Here's Cat's Tail again. Actually, quick side note, if you're hearing this on your regular podcast app, awesome, we love it, no notes. But you could, if you want, only if you want, see my little mug on youtube.com. Do you know about youtube.com? It's a website that was started by two best friends because they could not easily find clips of the Super Bowl halftime show in 2004. That's the one where Justin Timberlake ripped Janet Jackson's top and then her nipple showed, and even though they were both on the stage at the same time and almost everyone has nips, she was essentially banned forever. And also she is literally banned from the Grammys forever, but Justin Timberlake is doing just fine. Anyway, now we have YouTube and this show will be there as well. Because this show is worth at minimum $10 million a year, or I walk, we're going to start there on YouTube. My pitch for you to watch it there, I'm cute as a button. My pitch against it, I'll be embarrassed. Anyway, link in show notes. You can also go to kimmoffat.com and it will be there. Now, for real, the news. Stop distracting me, you goose. Starting with more fallout over ABC's decision to pull the Jimmy Kimmel show indefinitely for saying the mildest possible truths, which, not for nothing, should not matter whether they were mild or not because, First Amendment and all. On Thursday, congressional Dems in both the House and Senate introduced a bill to strengthen speech against government officials. Don't expect this one to get too far because Democrats do not have the lead in either chamber, but still, what do we say? Get caught trying. When it's for the greater good, when it's an attempt to actually make life better for people, get caught trying. And specifically here, put Republicans on the record against free speech. Make them vote no. And it's needed too because the Free Speech Party's dear leader, President Trump, on Thursday said, quote, "I have read somewhere that the networks were 97% against me," end quote, adding, quote, "I would think maybe their license should be taken away," end quote. Now, obviously that number 97% is a cow's opinion. Pulled that little guy right on out of thin air. But there are some networks that, yes, do have the audacity to sometimes say bad things about them, and how dare they, quite frankly. And there are some networks that cover his crimes. It probably seems to him like it's 97% because he does so many crimes, and so they have to get talked about a lot. This show here, in fact, used to have a segment called Trump Crime Update Time. Do you remember? It was very fun. It came with a sound effect and everything until he got reelected, and then he took over the justice system and was like, "See here, fellas, I ain't never done a crime. Jeffrey Epstein, I hardly know Steen." Look, I realize a man who chooses to wear obscenely long ties and seemingly only takes questions from the press while standing in front of the world's loudest engines is very hard to take seriously. And I know you come here for the Yolks and to hear the news in a way that is not meant to scare you, and that's not what I'm doing here, but I am taking this attack on free speech very seriously, and I believe you should as well. Because in vaguely related news, Texas A&M president Mark Welsh will step down after a video went viral on TikTok of a student confronting a teacher in a children's lit course. What were they debating? The legality of teaching kids that there are more than two genders because of Trump's executive order. I saw the video on TikTok when I was doom scrolling. Before the story came out, the student arguing with the teacher in the video is the one filming it. She wanted this to happen. Instead of talking to her teacher or President Welsh, she chose this. And I realize that she is a child. She is still in college. Her brain is still developing. But I sure hope it develops faster because she ruined two people's lives for nothing. There were no K through 12 kids in the class. They were college kids. having a conversation in class. Now, the teacher was not initially fired, but when the video went viral, the president had no choice but to fire the teacher. And because there was a delay in firing the teacher, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick and State House Rep Brian Harrison started calling for President Walsh's firing as well. So now he's out. So that's where we stand right now. Is there like a second Earth situation where these people can get hired at a different university and maybe Kimmel and Colbert can get their jobs back also? And if so, can I go? On Thursday, 11 Democratic elected officials in New York City, including the comptroller, as well as city and state lawmakers, showed up to a federal building in Lower Manhattan to inspect the holding cells where ICE detains migrants. Now, the reason for that inspection is that the detention center has gotten numerous complaints about being dirty and overcrowded. Last month, a federal judge ordered them to improve the conditions. So, why not show up, make sure it's being taken care of? I'll tell you what, ICE did not want them to be there. That's the why not. Why not? Because ICE was like, please do not come here. Following an hour-long standoff with Homeland Security, a few of those 11 Democrats were eventually arrested inside the building. Another group of them were arrested around the same time while they joined with about 40 protesters as they attempted to block garage doors at the same building. Those garage doors are used by vans that carry detained immigrants, which is why they were blocking them. They were released quickly and charged with a misdemeanor for blocking entrances and corridors. Over the weekend, the UK, Australia, and Canada made expected, though no less huge, international waves when they recognized a Palestinian state. On Sunday, Portugal joined with them. The stated intention of the move is to, according to Britain's Prime Minister, quote, revive the hope of peace and a two-state solution. France is expected to make the same announcement this week. Obviously, this displeased Israel's Netanyahu, but, okie doke, he's doing genocide, so we're not here to make friends. The legacy of Israel is one of a place for Jewish people to be Jewish safely. People within Israel deserve to be safe and feel safe, and prosper and grow and be able to be in one place for as long as they want, for as many generations as they want. And Israel has a right to defend itself. But Palestinians are owed those same rights, full stop, those same rights. Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th, 2023. Israel had a right to defend itself from further attacks from Hamas. Instead, the government has used that as an excuse to carry out a genocide against the people in Gaza. Now, these countries recognizing Palestine is significant, but the fact remains that little will change until the United States comes on board. And the United States will not come on board while we have the president we have. So, almost 1 year down, 3 to go. And finally, on Sunday, California's Governor Newsom signed 5 bills collectively called the No Secret Police Act, which is meant to curb the power of ICE and other federal officers that the Trump administration is sending to California at large and Los Angeles specifically. Among those 5 bills, one bans federal and state law enforcement from wearing masks while you're on duty, which I think is great. Listen, you joined ICE. You joined this department. Why hide? Say it with your chest. They must also be identifiable by badge number and name. This act will go into effect on January 1st. January 1st, my guy. No, I'm kidding. I mean, they do go into effect on January 1st, but that's just how laws work. Big bummer. Big bummer, because that's still pretty far, and they're still out here in the streets kidnapping our neighbors. And I say kidnapping because that's what it looks like when you cover your face and badge and just throw people in vans because the Supreme Court said you could do racism. So, good bill. Wish it was sooner. And that's it. That's the news. I'm sure there was more, but everyone was covering the Charlie Kirk funeral. Some were covering it live. He was a podcaster. Don't look at the pictures from the funeral. It's, you know what? Let them. No, I'm not going to describe them. Let them grieve. Let them gather with each other and cult, and we will do our thing, which is, it's not that. That's for sure. It's not for, you know what? I'll tell you one thing. It's not for me. I'm proud of ice cream cones. A fresh waffle cone? Are you kidding me? Name something better in the world, in the entire world. Yeah, I could name like hundreds, but still, a fresh waffle cone is pretty good. But more than that, because not unlike an ice cream cone, you too hold me together. And you're just so sweet. I'm proud of you.